As Dolphins fans, we've lived through quarterback chaos for years. We finally thought we had stability. We finally thought we had our guy. And now? Now it feels like the ground is shifting under our feet again. Something big is happening inside this organization. There's a new tone, a new direction, and the message that came out this week made it clear that no one is untouchable anymore, not even at the most important position on the field. I'm telling you right now, what was said changes everything about how we look at this offseason. Before we break this down, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Dolphins Nation Report. We're a new channel trying to reach our first 400 subscribers, and if you're a real Dolphins fan who rides through the highs and the heartbreak, this is the place for you. Here's what just happened. At the NFL Combine, new Dolphins GM John Eric Sullivan stepped up to the mic and didn't sugarcoat anything. He said, and I'm quoting here, "Everything is on the table, including the potential of a trade. Everything. On the table." We're talking about Tua Tagovailoa. That's not speculation from insiders. That's not anonymous sources. That's the general manager saying it publicly. Now let's slow this down and really understand what this means. Tua is under contract through 2028, 4 years, $212 million. That extension wasn't pocket change. That was a commitment. If the Dolphins straight up release him, that's a $99.2 million dead cap hit. 99.2. That would cripple the cap. Yes, they could use a post-June 1st designation and spread the hit over 2 seasons, but either way, we're talking about serious financial gymnastics. So what does that tell us? If they move him, a trade makes way more sense. At least you recoup assets, draft picks, something. You don't just eat a historic cap penalty for nothing. And here's the part that makes this whole situation even crazier. This is a quarterback who led the NFL in passing yards in 2023. A guy who topped the league in completion percentage in 2024. Even in that messy 2025 season, when everything felt off, he still had stretches where you saw that elite timing, that anticipation, that rhythm. But then he lost his starting job late in the year. That's the turning point. Because once a new regime benches you, and then a new general manager comes in from the Green Bay Packers pipeline, everything gets reevaluated. And that's exactly what's happening. Sullivan didn't sound emotional. He didn't sound attached. He sounded calculated. He even admitted, "We don't know which way that's going to go." That tells me conversations are happening behind closed doors. And let's talk about this new regime for a second. Sullivan brought in former Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as the new head coach. That's a full reset vibe. New GM, new coach, new philosophy. And when new leadership comes in, they don't feel loyalty to the previous quarterback pick. They evaluate everything. That includes 7th-round rookie Quinn Ewers, who started the final 3 games of 2025 after Tua was benched. Sullivan specifically said he's excited about what's ahead for him. Read between the lines. He also said it's his job to infuse competition into that room. Competition at quarterback means no guaranteed starter. Now here's an important detail, and this matters. Tua has not requested a trade. This isn't him demanding out. This is internally driven. That's huge. It means the Dolphins are the ones exploring options. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room either. The concussion history. That's going to follow Tua in any trade conversation. Other veteran QBs being discussed this offseason, like Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins, don't carry those same medical red flags. Teams will factor that in heavily. So if Miami trades him, it's not just about talent, it's about risk. And here's where it gets even more interesting. If the Dolphins pivot fully, Sullivan might look back to Green Bay again. Packers backup Malik Willis is heading into free agency. But here's the twist. Even with only 6 career starts, he could command over $20 million per year. That's not exactly a cheap experiment. And then there's the nightmare scenario. If Tua gets released, not traded, the New York Jets could theoretically make a move. In division. Can you imagine lining up twice a year against a motivated Tua in green? Intra-division trades are rare, and Miami would hate strengthening a rival. But if he's released, they can't control that. That's why this is such a delicate situation. Publicly saying everything is on the table gives Miami leverage. It keeps other teams guessing. It signals flexibility. It prevents them from looking desperate. But here's the truth as a fan. Quarterback stability in Miami is no longer guaranteed, and that's scary, because we all know the window doesn't stay open forever. This roster isn't built to rebuild, it's built to compete. We've been talking about Super Bowl potential, about maximizing prime years, about not wasting opportunities. So what does this mean? It means this offseason is defining. If they move on from Tua, they better have a clear plan. Not a maybe, not a project, a plan. If they keep him, then this public pressure better light a fire under the entire organization. Either way, the comfort is gone. And as Dolphins fans, we've been here before. The question is this bold leadership, or are we about to restart the most important position in football again? Man, I didn't expect this kind of turbulence heading into 2026. But here we are. If you're feeling the same mix of anxiety, curiosity, and maybe even a little cautious excitement, drop a comment. I want to know, would you trade Tua? Or are you riding with him no matter what? Hit like if you love this team no matter how stressful they make it. Subscribe to Dolphins Nation Report. We're just getting started, pushing toward our first 400 subscribers. If you're a real Dolphins fan who wants honest takes, not corporate answers, this is your spot. Let's see where this goes. Because one thing's for sure, this offseason just became must-watch.